So even the Chads are struggling in the West. It's time to get your passport, bros. I know my personal experience, and I would not self-proclaim myself a Chad, but I would say that most of my life I have maneuvered extremely easily with women. Whether that was my looks, my body, my fitness, my personality, my money, whatever it was, very, very easy. I got a comment today from a 23-year-old who said, yeah, I'm a 23-year-old and, you know, I'm in like boxing shape and I'm over it. I'm throwing in the towel, man. I'm paying off my house and I'm moving to the Philippines when my house is paid off or whatever. I don't know how long that'll be for a 23-year-old. But yeah, at the end of the day, that really made me think about making this video. It really is over. Even just being, the Chad at the gym or, that kind of thing, that's not enough for these women these days. These women these days need you to be rich and handsome. You can't just be one or the other. You need to be both. Otherwise, you are not acceptable to these women. That's just the honest truth. I've noticed that trend since about end of 2018 is when I really saw that strongly kind of Snapchat and the Kardashians and stuff kind of take hold of everyone. And if you weren't a 7-figure earner rather than a 6 and tip-top shape and just all that stuff, you were basically, you had a smaller pool. Okay. Yeah, you had a smaller pool of people that you had available to you. And so, that's just what I noticed over time, that, getting your passport is essentially the best option. You just kind of got into a situation at a certain point where you no longer had the value that you did before because of social media and hypergamy and everyone. Like if a woman just so much as gets a DM or, God forbid, a one-night stand with a celebrity, even if it's like he's blacked out drunk and, he never ever talks to her again, that is now her level. So like, I'm gonna be honest with you. In Las Vegas, Drake is somebody that I personally know girls that have been with Drake, the rapper Drake. Yes, the biggest celebrity in the world. And while he didn't actually date them, that gave that woman a tremendous feeling of pride and stuff. Even though it was essentially a one-night stand earlier in his career, before he was, right around when he was really breaking, like his first album and stuff. Like he was definitely world famous, but he wasn't necessarily the biggest star in the world. But yeah, so that's literally what you're up against because of Instagram and people having direct access to these things and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, the game has changed. Before, the girl that was the hottest girl in your town would have to date you because she geographically didn't really have any other choice. If you were the handsome Chad, captain of the football team, that was your girlfriend. Now, that girl has 55 different choices of guys in her DMs trying to fly her to Miami, trying to fly her to LA if she's in some weird little town in the middle of nowhere. So that's just honestly changed everything for everyone. Now, the chubby girl thinks that she can get the young Brad Pitt or the young Leo DiCaprio or whatever. It's just different than it once was, where you kind of had to go for your local option. So now, because of social media, because of Instagram, because of Snapchat, because of OnlyFans, women just simply have a different set of options than they did before. And if you are not the full package, as in extremely tall, multiple foreign vehicles, all that stuff. I mean, yeah, could you find a girlfriend if you're very charismatic or you're that guy? You could. Could you play the field really at a high level like you could like pre-2018? You definitely couldn't. I noticed that like when I first moved to Las Vegas, for instance, I could go on to any dating site and I would basically, every single woman would swipe right on me and then send me her address. almost instantaneously. I was basically more in relationships like after like 2018 and stuff, but the little bit of times that I would be single or even test myself out on the dating sites, I noticed that most of those matches had essentially evaporated. I still looked the same. I was probably in better shape. I didn't lose any hair in that period of time or anything, but most of the matches had essentially evaporated for whatever reason. So I just noticed that other guys in my comments, I'm getting emails from people saying, hey, you know what, I'm in tip-top shape, I make $200,000 a year, I'm 40, I'm 20, whatever, and they are really, really struggling because of the bar is just so high in the West that it just doesn't make sense to even try to compete. I had many options and multiple women that I was seeing when I left the West, but what I realized was the option quality level in Southeast Asia would be much, much higher than it was in Las Vegas. If there's a few dozen girls in Las Vegas and Los Angeles that were available to me, there's a few thousand, or almost everyone is available to you in the Philippines or different Southeast Asian countries. You're just operating at a raised value. So I really think that even the younger Chads are now emailing me and commenting to me that they're coming out. They're basically like, you know what, even for me, man, as a 23-year-old ripped dude that's like, fighting shape, as a, 40-year-old dude that's a, well into six figures, it's just not there anymore. So at the end of the day, I think it's time to get your passport and come on out, bros. Basically, you got nothing to lose. If it ain't for you, you just head home. Anybody that's gonna come out here has obviously got a few dollars. Don't come out here unprepared or with $500 in a GoPro. But at the end of the day, it's worth a discovery trip. And this ain't just for older guys, this just ain't for fat guys. Literally, the Chads are struggling in the West, like dead ass. You could be model good looks, you could be making 100K, you're struggling in the West. That's the honest to God truth. People can say whatever they want. They can, say they're doing good. Can you find a girlfriend? Can you find one girl to accept you? Certainly. Are you gonna have the massive pool that you had like pre-2018? Definitely not. I guarantee it. So I think that it's a good idea. I'm going to Starbucks. It's a good idea to get your passport and just, come explore anywhere. Go to South America, man. Go to anywhere out of the United States where you have that raised value and that pool opens back up to you like it did pre-2018. So, just a little message from someone that's over here that did it, that's not an old guy, not a young guy, but, most women tell me I look like I'm in my late 30s. I have money. I'm well put together. I'm in shape. And, the West just changed about 5 years ago. Was it impossible? Do I have multiple women eagerly awaiting my return? I do. Do I have a bigger pool in kind of my pre-2018 role in the United States and Southeast Asia? I certainly do. So, just a little something to think about for you guys that have been on the fence, or guys that have been wondering, if you're 23, you probably pretty much, we're damn near not even dating, pre-Snapchat, Kardashian takeover, pre-Instagram, pre-all that. So, it was different. Your pool is smaller. You can't just be the handsome dude passing out towels at the gym anymore. You need to make a couple $100,000 a year. You need to have something going for you outside of your looks. And if you just have money, you don't have looks. If you don't have height, there's just too many qualifiers. These women just have too many qualifiers, even if they got multiple kids or they're, not exactly a Miss Universe. There's just too many things on their list. It's just unrealistic hypergamy and unrealistic qualifications when they should be concerned with qualifying for you, but there's just so many options and so many simps and so many goofies that it's just got to a point where it just doesn't make sense anymore. So get your passport, do a discovery trip, go to Colombia, go to Brazil, go to the Philippines, go to Thailand, go to Malaysia, go to a million different places, man. If you got the money to do it, I guarantee you ain't never coming back. Not to live. I never will. I'm telling you, boots on the ground. That's just what it is. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and sana all.